I know. We spent some money though, right?
But he never gets off.
Yeah, gone? Okay. All right. So you good?
The president called a shop gate last night. He would make sure he come to Quill first because Quill is his first depot. He's campaigned and everything else he's done in the past, and he'd like to give
at least
you guys
at least in the OA. So I've been here several times. I would say several times over the last couple of years, and laid out several goals that I saw as important to Local 100. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and then talk about what the final result was. Many times I came in here, I spoke about the issue of zeros and the situation that we were in 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we were in a situation where hundreds of thousands of state workers accepted a contract that had 3 zeros in it, raised the health benefit contribution up to about $5,000 a year. They took 2 weeks of furlough pay, and then took 2% increases in the last 5 years of the deal after having accepted 3 zeros. Now, in addition to that, the New York City Transit Authority, MAPSTOA, in this round of negotiation, we're looking for massive decreases in the health benefits that we have. They were looking to restructure our health plan to dramatically increase the out-of-pocket costs and to decrease the level of benefit. They were looking for something I've spoken about in here many times, and many times said I would fight it to the death, and we did. Part-time bus operator. They were looking for it, they didn't get it. On the subway side of the house, they were looking for the subway equivalent of part-time bus operator, which is the removal from our conductors off the train, one-person train operation. They didn't get it. Perhaps most importantly, they were looking to privatize huge chunks of our station work. Huge chunks where they brought a public-private type partnership in with a company like Verizon or MSG, for instance, and say that this would be Verizon Union Square Station and give Verizon all the advertisements rights in the stations and agree to let them hire people at $10 an hour to do the cleaning and do the maintenance in the station instead of our people. Now, any kind of drip of either part-timer or the elimination of jobs through Opto or privatization, any little headway that they made would have spread like poison throughout the rest of this union. Like poison. It would have only been a matter of time before they were talking about privatizing, for instance, the maintenance on the buses, or who knows, even the operation of the buses. We saw that happen right in Nassau County, where MTA Long Island Bus was an MTA entity and is now being done by Veolia with private operators and private mechanics. So on the big concessions that this company looked for, we fought back, we fought hard, we took public positions, very public positions. We called out the MTA, we called out the governor, stood our ground, and refused to take the concessions. Now, on the wages, I came here many times, said we're not going to take the zeros. We're not going to take the zeros that other unions took. We just weren't going to do it. So if you look at the wage package that we're talking about, you can split it into two halves. We have retroactive payment going back, and then we have raises coming forward. And on the retroactive pay, while other unions took zeros, we're looking at $4,000 or $5,000 a person here in retroactive pay and an immediate 4% raise from the years that have expired on our contract, from the deadlines that have expired on our contract. So while everybody else took zeros, we're going to get $4,000 or $5,000 or more. If you make more than $100,000, you're going to get more than $5 grand. And probably about 15,000 or so Local 100 members fall into that park, where that area where they're going to get more than $5,000 in retro pay, plus an immediate 4% raise. The day the contract is ratified, it's a 4% raise in our pocket. Now, going forward, the raises are 2% raises. If the raises of 1-1, which are retro, and then 2% raises going forward, were not coupled with the huge economic gains that we made on the health benefit side of the house, it would have given me some pause for consideration to sign this contract. But on the benefit side of the house, we were able to obtain things that everybody said were unattainable. Unions all across the city, all across the state, and in fact all across the country are losing ground on their health benefits right now. And in this contract negotiation, we have so tremendously upgraded the value of our benefits package and the benefits that Local 100 members are going to receive, that there is a absolute definitive economic value to be added to this contract in addition to the wage increases at hand. Now, folks who have heard me speak in here, heard me speak about the dental plan and heard me speak about the optical plan. I had vowed that I would not settle this contract without an upgraded dental plan and I considered it the greatest form of disrespect to TW Local 100 members that we had to take our children to butchers to stick their hands in the mouths of our children under that current dental plan. It's a thing of the past. It's all fixed. It's all gone. We have a dental plan right now that we can be proud of. And as a matter of fact, upon ratification of this contract, we're going to have better dental benefits than most other people that are in public sector unions in the city. And bear in mind, I'm a father. I have 2 little boys at home, an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old. The amount of money that my wife and I have spent on dentists for my kids, taking my kids to a dentist that we're comfortable with, has been incredibly substantial over the last 8 years or so. We've been on a permanent payment plan for $300 a month with a dentist in Brooklyn, and I cannot be the only one in that boat. That is money going right back into our pockets. That's in addition to the wage increases. On the optical plan is going to be the optical plan is going to be upgraded by about 400 or 500% of the amount of money that they're currently putting into our optical. We're going to take that money. We're going to go to a bunch of providers and we're going to see who's going to give the greatest economic benefit package on the optical to TW Local 100 members. And when we're done with that, we're going to have the best optical care in the business. There's going to be, you're going to have to look far and wide to find somebody who has better optical benefits than this contract's going to deliver for us. And again, I want to say, in addition to the wage increases that are coming, the economic benefit that puts money in our pockets from these benefit upgrades cannot be overlooked. They're incredibly substantial and they're going to increase the buying power of our families in a very significant way. Now, just a couple of other points. We had a brother, William Pena, bus operator, killed in the line of duty. Tragedy, absolute tragedy in this depot. I've had tragedies like this on the railroad track since I started on this job. 15, 18 maintenance away folks that I came up with are no longer with us because they either got hit by a train or electrocuted by the third rail or died in some other horrific industrial accident on the railroad tracks. The current payout from the company is $100,000 under the existing contract. We upgraded that payment to $250 grand. God forbid we have to use it during the life of this contract, but if we lose a brother or a sister in perpetuity going forward, they're going to get a $250,000 check from the company rather than the $100 grand that was there. It was important to me. Just a couple of other points. Since the 1960s, the health benefit payment from this company, from MAPSTOA and New York City Transit Authority, when an active service member passes away, has been $5,000. It's been $5 grand. In the 1960s, $5 grand might have been worth something. $5 grand is nothing in 2014. It's absolutely nothing. Now, I recognize that $5,000 isn't even probably enough to pay for one day of a funeral service for us, for our families. God forbid we pass away in the line of duty. We upgraded that by 500% to $25,000 upon ratification of the contract, and we're going to continue to push for a respectable life insurance payout for our active service members that pass away, so that we have something to leave our spouses beyond a lousy $5,000 check that has not been raised up since the 1960s. And additionally, a couple other things, a couple other items. Back in 1999 or so, if you were in MAPSTOA and you wanted to come to work by using the New York City subway, you couldn't ride for free. And if you were a New York City transit worker and you wanted to take the bus in Manhattan to your work location, you couldn't ride for free. So, in 1999, the union bargained for an extensive, what they call the universal pass, extensive, that finally enabled us to get this epic card, this epic pass that we have in our pockets. There was a different arrangement made in MAPSTOA because there was some spousal pass usage going on, but if you were in MAPSTOA, you could opt not to have, to take away the spousal pass and then ride the New York City transit system rather than the MAPSTOA system for free. But it left an inequity in my mind. And that inequity is that we have folks that ride the MTA system every single day, whether it's Staten Island Rapid Transit or whether it's the Long Island Railroad or Metro North, And to me, there was a great inequity that we had to pay our own employer to come to work. And the equivalent that I gave and the equivalent that I'll continue to give, it would be the equivalent of working for National Grid or Con Ed. And when you came to work every day, the boss stuck out his hand and you had to stick $5 in his hand to get into the workplace. And that's exactly the analogy of having to pay to ride the MTA system to get to work. So at least since 1999 and years before that, this union has been trying to get free rides for Local 100 members on the MTA system. We've succeeded in doing that in this contract. It's a foot in the door. We want to expand that even further. We want to expand it onto the express buses. We want to expand it not only to people coming to work, but for people who want to use the railroad for their own purposes. This is our freaking system. We should be able to use this system for free. And we got our foot in the door in a very big way.